Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us all here today. Today's shiur should be Le'ilu Nishmas, our dear friend Menachem ben Yisrael Yaakov, as well as my dear aunt Rivka Bas Gavriel Tzvi, and for Zaidi, Reb Shmuel ben Yosef Dov HaKohen, and B'schos L'Rafua Shalema Bakarov Meshalom ben Sarah Rachel, and Miriam Bas Sarah. Today, we are on page 313 in the Ora Vigdor for those who are following along. And we're going to continue today with the next two of the 7 reasons as to why, hypothetically speaking, why the Torah does not mention Shaar HaBitachon. So we started off this section, or the previous one really, the previous chapter was talking about reward for mitzvos, doing it in a hidden fashion, making sure people don't know about it. You get a lot more schar for that. And if you let people know, and then we talked about how you shouldn't boast about it. And then we got into talking about, we keep preaching that if you do good by Hashem and you do mitzvos and you refrain from doing averos, we dangle the schar Olam HaBa. We talk about that. So the question is, why does the Torah not mention schar Olam HaBa? What is schar Olam HaBa? We know that the Torah does mention that when you do averos, the Torah mentions a whole menu of items exactly. If you do this, you get this punishment. If you do that, you get that punishment. So why, when it comes to Shaar Habitachon, the Torah doesn't mention exactly that list, that menu of sorts, to let us know exactly what our rewards might be? And so today we're going to talk about the fourth and the fifth reason. The fourth reason he talks about, technically speaking, none of us deserve Olam HaBa. Now, I know when you were raised, you were told the whole time that, you get that. But in reality, Chovos HaLevavos says that nobody in this world deserves Olam HaBa. And he gets into it saying that the amount of kindness that Hashem gives us doesn't even measure up to all the good deeds, all the mitzvos that all of us do at the same time, and we could put it together, give it even to one person to use for his schar, it doesn't even equal, we don't even repay our debts to Hashem for that. So in reality, the Shaar HaBitachon, the reason why it's not mentioned is because Hashem is not going to tell you that you get Shaar HaBitachon when it's not even possible for you to earn that. And he's going to discuss that over here. Another reason is that a man cannot earn reward in the world to come, in Olam HaBa, solely as a result of his mitzvos. Rather, you can only qualify, he says over here, in order to get Shaar Olam HaBa, you need 2 things over here. First one is first, you have to take the time to teach other people about the beauty of the Torah, about Hashem, about His kindness, about the mitzvos, about, refraining from. You have to teach people about the Torah. And those who teach, it says, righteousness to a lot of people will shine like stars forever and ever. And it also says, for those who reprove, there will be delight and good blessings with all upon them. Meaning that, again, you need to teach other people, right? And you also need to be a good person at the same time. So you have to practice what you preach. When that individual who exerts himself, his time, to taking the time for teaching other people and being a good yid by himself, he will be considered by Hashem worthy of receiving the reward for Olam HaBa. Now that's the first of the 2 qualifications. The first of 2 qualifications is 2 parts. You need to be someone who's out there actively telling people about the beauty and the good of the Torah and about Hashem, and also not reprimand, but to tell someone when they're doing something wrong, is to bring it to their attention and let them know they're doing something wrong. The second component of that first area is that you also practice what you preach. So you also believe in Hashem and do everything good, do whatever you can to be close to Hashem. Now, that's the first of the qualifications. The second qualification in order to get Shaar Olam HaBa, is the second condition is Hashem's kindness and generosity and goodness. Meaning, the first one alone doesn't give it to you. After you've done all that, you've taught other people and you were very good, now you are eligible for Hashem to bestow His kindness upon you. And that's the second part. So you need Hashem's kindness, His generosity, in order for you to get Tzchar Olam HaBa. Kamosh Kasev, it says in Tehillim, David HaMelech says, Ulucha Hashem chased ki ata d'shalom le'ish k'maseyu. And yours, Hashem, is kindness for you, repay each man according to his deeds. And the reason that Hashem bestows his all these benefits only out of His infinite kindness is because because even where a person's good deeds are as numerous as he says as the sand of the sea, they would still not equal to a single kindness that Hashem gives us every single day. And so over here he's telling us that the magnitude of Hashem's kindness is so big that you can't even put together everyone else's credit into one account and give it to one person, and that person should be that person should be deserved of Schar Olam HaBa. If Hashem kept an account of gratitude owed to Him for His kindness, so if God actually had a ledger, all right, He put in QuickBooks an account, and He put in there every single time He bestowed kindness on us, and then every single time we paid Him back with mitzvos or whatever, we would be in a huge, huge, huge deficit. So at the end of the day, He's saying over here that we cannot deserve Schar Olam HaBa, because we can't even get to that level where we're even. We can't even break even with God with all the kindness that He gives us. So He already paid us for all this. Therefore, Hashem can't write about Schar Olam HaBa, but there's no way for you to earn that. So this fourth reason, to break that down very simply, is we don't deserve it. The reason the Torah doesn't mention is we don't deserve it, and it's strictly a kindness that Hashem gives us if He wants to, if He feels we deserve it, and what we deserve is something that Hashem will kind of dictate later on. The fifth reason is something a little bit more complex, and it's a little bit more interesting. You have to think about this a second. When we do mitzvos and averos, human beings, they react differently to a mitzvah or an avera when it's done openly versus when it's done quietly behind the scenes. So we spoke about doing a mitzvah behind the scenes, right? Not telling anyone about it. Then there are mitzvahs that are strictly behind the scenes. For instance, there's a mitzvah l'yiras Hashem, to fear God. To fear God is not something you do openly with your limbs or your mouth. I mean, you could talk about it, but it's something that's in your heart. In your heart, to fear Hashem is one of the examples. Hashem sees that. And when Hashem sees that you are a God-fearing Yid, then Hashem might give you a reward that is hidden from the world, which is Olam HaBa. It talks about when you do mitzvos that are open, that are visible to other people, Hashem might repay you with reward that is open and visible. And in addition to that, when it comes to averos, Hashem says, okay, if you are going to do this in this avera, I'm going to repay you with such and such, punishment, because Hashem wants people to see that. And he goes into over here and he says that. It says that he brings Pashas Bichakosai. He says, proof of this can be found in Hashem's promise to His people. On the service that is visible in movements of the limbs, meaning those things that you do, whether it's mitzvos or averos, the reward is swiftly granted in this world. Because again, people can see it, and Hashem wants other people to see that reward for that. And this is clearly what the Torah says in Pashas Bichakosai. And He promised them swift, visible punishment in this world for visible, open transgressions. That Hashem says, if you do this avera, I'm going to punish you on this world. And there it's very, very clear. So we're going to, over here from the Psukim, it's a little bit more complex than just that. And I, myself, I'm not 100% clear as why this actually makes sense. I have questions on it, which I might get into another time. But the basics of it, the Chovos HaLevavos is saying over here is that the reason Hashem doesn't talk about Schar Olam HaBa is because it's something that, it's a hidden gift, it's a hidden reward. And it's made for those mitzvos that you are doing just believe. Now, it's not to say that we don't have mitzvahs that we do believe. It's not that we don't have stuff that we might not, in this case, earn those things. But because it's a hidden concept, a Torah doesn't write about it because, again, it's a surprise, so to speak, in lack of other terms. But in the same point, he says that for aveiros that you do, or things that you do, or mitzvos even that you do on this world openly, Hashem tries to show you that reward or that punishment on this world because He wants other people to see it. The same way they were able to see your mitzvah and your aveiros, then Hashem wants those people to see the ramifications or the reward for those individual things. Thank you, everyone, for joining us all here today. And as always, I love you all.